community friends. We are here to give you the updates for Q4, what's happening in the Hustle Humbly community group.
So for Q4, we are going to start off with our community live in October, and it's going to be more of a fun one because it's going to be on Halloween, and we want you to bring your spooky stories.
Yeah, they could be real estate related, or maybe they're not real estate
related. I mean, most
just haunted houses.
Yes, I was thinking most spooky things are because of houses. So we're just going to have fun. Costumes encouraged.
Always encouraged.
But then in November, we're getting back to business. Okay.
That's right.
Our community live event will be about prepping your database for the holidays.
Yes.
We're going to come up with some good ideas on ways to reach out to your database and also get it all scrubbed clean. So when you send out your Christmas cards, everything goes where it is supposed to.
Right.
And you don't get too many coming back to you.
Right. And then tell us what's happening in December.
December is my favorite. It is the Hustle Humbly Holiday Happy Hour. 5 H's.
It's H5. This is our second year of the H5.
Yes, we love the Hustle Humbly Holiday Happy Hour.
Also, costumes encouraged.
Yes. So mark your calendar for the last quarter for the community group. If you're not in the community group, you're welcome to come join us at hustlehumblypodcast.com/membership.
Yes. And you'll also get some other fun stuff that you need to know about besides our fun lives, which they really are great. You're going to get all of the prospecting templates. This is the perfect time of year to really kick those things into high gear. And you get the podcast search feature.
Yes.
So you want to remember what we said on, gosh, what episode was it? You can go type in to our search feature in the community, and it will just go through every single episode and find exactly what you're looking for.
Yes, it'll scan everything and give you your answer without having to re-listen to everything.
There's other stuff, but we don't have time. So come join us in the community, or if you're already in the community, don't miss these fun events.
And I was pregnant. So that kind of spurred the move too. I was like, I can't continue at this pace.
The schedule wasn't going to work.
I decided, okay, I'm going to get my broker's license, but I'm not having any agents. Just gonna
that worked out really well.
And yeah, that worked out. You're not having to hurt their feelings, and I never have to talk to them again.
You're just a third-party expert.
I still, to this day, get clients off of Instagram.
That you don't know in any way, other than they found you on Instagram.
Hi, y'all. Welcome to Hustle Humbly. It's Alissa and Katy, and we are 2 top-producing realtors in the Baton Rouge market.
We work for 2 different companies where we should be competitors, but we have chosen community over competition.
The goal of our podcast is to encourage you to find your own way in business.
So stop comparing yourself and start embracing your strengths.
Hi, Alissa.
Hey, Katy.
It's episode 215. And we have a guest today.
Woohoo! An in-studio guest, which is our favorite. Brandi, welcome.
Hi.
Please tell the people who you are and how we know you.
Well, I am Brandi Salvador, and I am a broker, interior designer, and I'm also Katy's broker.
That's right. She's my broker.
She's been waiting for you to say that part.
That's right.
So yes.
Okay.
And friend.
And we're friends, and we've wanted to have you on the show. We've actually had quite a few listeners request, every time it comes up and we talk about boutique brokerage and where I work and what you do, or people go and find you, especially on Instagram. They're like, you should interview Brandi. I'm like, here she is.
Yes, we are.
She's here for the interview. I want to say that I just read your little bio before we came on here, and you have had your license since 2013.
Yes.
And I liked in your bio, you said your goal was to be able to provide your clients a full service experience when they want to make big changes to their home life.
Yes.
Because and especially now in the market that we're in, you're in a different kind of situation where you're not just selling real estate, you're also providing design services.
Yes. And I feel right now, especially after COVID, our design is really 80% of my business right now.
Okay, we're going to get to that.
Right.
Okay. So first, tell us a little bit how your business has evolved, and were you always entrepreneurial is my question.
Yeah, like what did you do before real estate?
So while I was in school at LSU, trying to figure out what to do with my life, I got a job at a local Planet Beach in Prairieville, and I was 18.
Is Planet Beach nationwide?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Nationwide. And they were even international at one point.
Oh, wow.
I did not know this either.
Oh, okay. You didn't know about this.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Yeah.
You got a job at the
So
Planet Beach.
I actually remember Alissa coming in and tanning at my Planet Beach.
Yeah, I used to go to the one on
Old Hammond.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
right by my
Okay.
parents where they lived.
So I started at the one in Prairieville, and literally probably 2 weeks after I started, the manager just one day walked out and left while I was there. She said, I quit.
You're like, okay, bye.
I'm not, like, she had gotten off the phone with the owner and, she just left. And so I called the
What?
owner and I was like, hey, what to do now? And he was like, I don't know what to do. He is actually a lender.
Like a mortgage broker?
A mortgage broker, yeah.
What?
And so he was just like, do you think you could like kind of hold the ship,
Can you hold down the fort?
Can you hold down the fort? Yeah,
Like,
I can't even think of the words.
You were like,
but
I'm 18.
I didn't even tell him I was 18. I just said, I can try.
Stop.
And I mean, the pay was like $5,000 a month. So back in 2000,
wait,
Stop
hold on,
it.
back up. You made $5,000 a month working at the Planet Beach?
yeah, managing it, yes.
You were like, I'll hold down the fort, no problem.
But I had to figure out how to work 40 hours a week plus
Go to school.
So I had to like cut by my hours at school.
Oh my
and
God.
manage, but I really did enjoy it. Like
Okay.
I enjoyed my job there, and I was like, how can I pass up this much money? Because I didn't have
Hard.
like, I was literally supporting myself through college. I did
Okay.
not. I have 4 younger siblings. I did not feel comfortable asking my dad to pay for anything.
Mm,
you
right.
know? And I couldn't. So I was like, okay.
How long did that last?
So when I was 21, he decided that he wanted to sell that location. He had the other location on Old Hammond, and he was like, it's just slammed. I can't manage 2 managers and 2
Mhm.
businesses. And
Right.
So at the time, like when they started building these, they didn't build them with a washer and dryer. Okay. So
Oh no.
you were having to he was having to come and like pick up towels and wash
and take 'em
towels
home and wash
Yes.
'em?
And he was like, this is too much.
Uh,
So the Old Hammond location was like booming. The Prairieville location was doing good, but Prairieville wasn't what it was now back then.
Right. It was a
Like it
quiet.
was very
Mhm.
small, quiet, rural cow pasture still.
Mhm.
So he took on Old Hammond. I bought Prairieville from him at the age of 21 for a very good price.
Okay.
wow. Did
'cause he
you
was
have
desperate.
money to do it? Or do you have to get like a business loan?
I had to take out a loan.
Okay.
Wow.
I had some help.
At 21.
Yeah. At 21,
Man, this
I
is
decided
amazing.
to buy
That also feels like it's a pretty fearless decision. You were like, sure, I'll give it a go.
I tend to be a very fly by the seat of my pants kind of person. I like to think that God's in charge of all
What's
of
gonna
it.
happen.
You
It's
know,
all
so
gonna
like
work.
when I'm presented with things, I'm like, I'll try it.
Sure.
I mean,
what's
if
the
I
worst?
fail, I fail.
Right.
and
I love
learn
that.
from it.
Yes, I love that attitude though. Like, what's the worst that could happen?
Right.
They close down the Planet Beach. Like,
Right.
And then what? You're fine.
right.
Then I'm still fine. I
Yeah.
can still go find another job, you know.
Right.
So
I love. How long did you own it?
So I owned that one. I think we sold that one in 2000, probably 9, because I bought Old Hammond.
Wow.
Oh.
Old Hammond was booming. So they opened Highland at Airline.
Okay.
Okay. And I was like, well, that was a mistake because it's not a big enough
Right.
area to
Okay.
have 2.
And it's kinda
that was
close to
literally half
Prairieville.
of,
Yeah.
of a mile. And then everybody who lived in Prairieville worked in Baton Rouge. So a
They were
lot of my
passing
clients
by.
were stopping by the new one. They're like, well, they have newer beds and newer bulbs and blah, 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 blah. So it was just this whole
Oh.
thing. And I was like, I'm getting out of Prairieville.
Okay.
And then I bought Old Hammond.
Okay. Okay. How did you decide to get into real estate? Was there something in between the
So-
tanning bed and real estate?
So I ended up eventually, I was actually an opening coordinator for Planet Beach. I started like opening locations in Florida and stuff like
Oh,
that.
no
And then
way.
they would send me to fix locations that weren't doing well. And then they were kind of doing some things that I didn't really agree with. And I saw the writing on the wall, like this company is going to go down. Like
Okay.
it's not going to last. And it hasn't. It,
Mm-hmm.
Like
they
it doesn't
sold-
exist anymore?
Mm-mm,
No.
I mean, I don't even know if they have any.
I don't know either.
I don't know if they have any. They turn into Hot Works. Have you seen those?
Oh, yeah. Where
It's a
they
whole
do the
different
hot
thing.
yoga. Yeah, because
Yeah.
we're not supposed to be in tanning beds.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like a whole
I was
different
going to
thing
say,
now.
I am a spray tanner now. So
Yeah. So From there, I was like, okay, I sold that location in 2011. And I was like, I think I might want to be like a business consultant, like go into businesses that aren't doing well and show them what they could do to be better.
Okay.
And then I went to an LSU baseball game with a friend, and it was in the suites, and Cypress Title was doing the little...
They were hosting.
Got it. And they asked me if I wanted to be their new marketing rep.
And you're like,
And
well,
I was
okay.
like-
And you do what you do and you say, I'll give it a try.
I'll try.
I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
Right. So I was there for a couple years, and then I kept telling them, you guys, y'all have to open more locations. They only had that one location. I kept
Okay.
saying, you have to open more locations.
Mhm.
Well, after I left, they ended up opening a bunch of
yeah,
locations.
yeah.
So I was
Okay.
like, see, you should be a
I
consultant.
told you.
So working at the title company kind of gave
I
you a
met
preview of real
a
estate.
ton of realtors.
Right.
So my job was to market to realtors and lenders.
Mm-hmm.
And
You won't be the first title marketing person that
to switch.
didn't got their license.
Yeah.
Right?
I see it a lot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I left there. I got recruited to run a buyer's team
Okay.
at Keller Williams.
Okay.
So there was an agent there, and he was like, I really think you would be great at running the buyer side.
Okay.
So basically, learning how to be a real estate agent, working with buyers only, and then teaching other agents on the team how to be buyers agents.
Okay. At this point,
So-
though, you're actually going out and working with buyers.
Yes.
Like you've gotten your
like
license.
before I had my license, I was telling people I was getting my license. I was showing 3 people
Oh.
like land,
Okay.
but like with the
someone licensed.
someone
You
licensed.
weren't breaking
Yeah.
the law.
Yeah,
To be
no,
clear.
I was not breaking the law.
Okay.
No, I was showing with someone licensed, but
Mhm.
when I did pass my test, I had 2 closings or 3 closings like
In the
right
works.
after
Right
I passed
away.
my test. Yeah.
Oh,
Well, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was great.
You don't hear that.
No,
It
very
was
rarely.
awesome. And it was 3 people from my sphere that I had just told, hey, I'm getting my real estate license.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Oh.
it was great. And it was very high stress though. You know,
Yeah,
I was
right.
literally learning how to do everything on my own because the team leader had a ton of business on his own. He didn't
Yeah.
have a ton of time to teach me.
So once licensed, you went straight to being the buyer's agent leader of
Yes.
this team.
Yes.
How many buyers were you managing? Do you remember about?
How many buyer's agents? Just 1
Okay.
at the time. And
Okay.
then it
So
kind
it's the 2 of you working all the buyers.
Right.
Was it sort of a traditional structure where team leader was doing all the listings and the 2 of y'all were doing all the buyers?
Yes.
And then that team grew.
Yes.
Okay.
But then there was an agent who referred a builder
Okay.
who would not work with men. He only wanted to work with women. And so I got sent out on that appointment, and that's kind of how the design started because he was
Oh.
building a neighborhood behind Parkview, and he had built these spec homes. He didn't want to deal with custom builds. He only
Mhm.
wanted to build specs.
Okay.
And his spec homes were not selling.
Ah.
And so I was like, well, they're way too masculine. You've got way too many dark colors going on. And so I started designing his new construction.
Okay.
And I think I was one of the first people to ever virtually stage a property, probably in Baton Rouge.
Oh, really?
I figured out how to virtually stage the ones that weren't selling
Okay.
and got people through the door. And that's
You
how
did
we
it on
sold
your
all-
own, like
'cause we sold,
Photoshop style.
Yes.
That's impressive.
Like Photoshop
Like-
style.
like
virtually
pre-box
staged.
brownie.
Yeah, like I sent it to the builder and he was like, this is amazing.
You're like, thank
He
you.
was like, it looks so real. It looks like there's actually furniture in there. And it got a ton of buyers interested in the neighborhood. The neighborhood was very hidden. Like you couldn't
Mhm.
see it from the street. You had to go through an old neighborhood to get
there.
to it.
Had you gone to school for design? How did you?
No,
How did
Absolutely
you
not.
know
Like,
that? Is this the first time you discovered you had that in
yes.
you?
I mean, when
Helping
I was
this
young,
builder?
I would clean our house and rearrange like the bookshelves and the furniture. I was always rearranging.
You're born
Mhm.
into it.
Yeah, it was literally just
wasn't born
something.
into it.
I decorated my family home growing up.
Yeah,
That's fun.
Like my mom was like, I don't have any
Mhm.
interest in
right.
Like,
you
you
do,
do
it.
this.
Yeah.
Okay, how long were you on the team? We're going to try to like get through the fast forward through the story.
Timeline.
Like
Yeah.
how long were you on the team?
I was on the team for 5 years.
Okay. What made you leave the team? Like what was the next thing that happened?
So it was super stressful. I mean, closing 40 to 60 deals a year. And on the team, I was making half of my deals.
Yeah.
So I was bringing in half of the commission. And I had to be at the office every day for 8:30, but I was also a lot of times working. When you're working with buyers, you're working evenings and weekends.
Yeah.
And I was writing contracts until 10, 11 o'clock at night. I was closing 3 to 4 deals a month. So you're working a lot.
Yeah.
And then having to be at the office every morning, I was just super stressed out. And I was like, I don't feel fulfilled. Like, this is not. So I moved to REMAX Professional, a smaller brokerage.
I didn't know that either.
Wow. Alyssa's learning so much during this
I
chat,
know.
Okay.
which was a small, at the time,
About 40 agents.
office. Yeah.
A lot of, and I was pregnant. So that kind of spurred the move too. I was like, I can't continue at this pace.
The schedule wasn't going to work.
Right. And I loved all the experience that I got there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you
So
want to
much,
get a
yeah.
ton of experience in a very short amount of time in real estate,
Yeah, there
right.
you go.
The team life will get you there.
yeah, you will get there quick.
Okay. Are you willing to share with us the story that you told me? And you can just tell me real quick. But
Yeah.
I remember early on when we met, you told me, I was asking about your background and the
Mhm.
team and everything. You
Mhm.
said when you were on the team, they did a personality assessment and then they
Mhm.
told you what you should be doing, like what your optimal function would be on the team. Do you
Based on
remember?
that personality test?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you
So-
remember that?
Yes. So at Keller Williams, back when I was there, they were very into personality assessments,
Yeah.
like the DISC and all these things. And you were kind of like put into positions based on these personality tests.
Interesting.
Right.
Well, I took the DISC and it fit my role as the lead buyer's agent. And then the owner of Keller Williams created his own personality assessment
Oh.
that went out company wide. And
Mm.
so I was 5 years in at this point.
Yeah.
I took the personality assessment and it said that I should be someone's personal assistant.
And you were like, I don't.
And I was like, I feel completely
Mm-hmm.
just unseen
right.
at this moment
Yeah.
because
You were like,
and you're a leader. You've been leading this
I-
whole
the
time.
whole time.
yeah, the whole time. And I felt like the leader of the team was kind of disappointed in my
results.
results. And
I guess so.
Like you have been labeled.
I was labeled and I just felt like, okay. And I was pregnant and I was like,
all this happened at the same time.
Yeah. So
You're like, maybe it's time for a little.
Did they want to demote you based off of the label?
I wanted to be able to do listings. I wanted being 5 years
Yeah,
in, doing that many transactions, I was like, I want to be able to take on listings.
Yeah.
And I felt like the leader there needed someone to do that, but he didn't want to let that go. He had one other agent doing it, but it was like he didn't want to put me in that role. He wanted
and
me
he
as
certainly-
his buyer's agent.
Right.
Yeah, he certainly
'Cause he
can't give it
trusted me.
away
Yeah.
to someone who was just labeled either.
Right. I was
Right.
labeled an assistant, a personal assistant.
Right. He's
So I was
like, see, I can't give you
I
these
can't give you
listings."
yeah. So,
Okay, at that point, how many people were on the team, and then we're going to move on?
Oh, probably like 8.
Okay, so it had gotten pretty big.
It had gotten big.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so now you've gotten, you're out on your own. You're just an individual. You've moved to a smaller office, still at a big franchise. How did you end up opening a brokerage? What is the backstory to this?
So my husband got a job in Lake Charles from his hometown.
Okay.
He was working for Exxon. He got moved, or he didn't get moved, but he got offered a job and he kind of couldn't pass it up. So we moved there and I didn't really want to leave. I had so many past clients. I had built this large amount of past clients.
Right.
And I'm like, look, I'll just travel back and forth. If I have a client that wants to list, I'm going to list.
Okay,
Mhm.
let's clarify for the people who have no clue where Lake Charles is. I
Yeah.
mean, how long of a drive was it?
2.5 hours.
Okay, so you're like,
So if I
I
had
can
to go on a
manage.
listing appointment, I could do a listing appointment, And I didn't know if this job was going to be permanent because he was also like, I don't know,
Right.
if this company isn't great, which they turned out to be like very unsafe.
Oh,
And like in Plant Life,
So
it's
you
like,
came back.
so after a year of being there, we came back.
Right, so you basically didn't
Oh.
want to leave your business here.
I didn't want to leave my business there, but I wanted to start possibly flipping homes in Lake Charles,
Okay.
because the real estate there is a lot cheaper than in Baton Rouge,
Right.
and there's less competition there. It's
Yeah.
a much smaller town. So I was like, and my husband was like, why don't you just get your broker's license? And I was like, ugh, I don't want
Right.
agents, 'cause
Right.
I think the team thing had really turned me off of like
You just
having
didn't
a
wanna
team.
manage
I
people
didn't
at
wanna
the
manage
time.
Well, you know
people.
how much goes into
It's a lot.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
a lot.
Managing people is a lot.
Right.
So
it's a whole nother career.
I decided, okay, I'm going to get my broker's license, but I'm not having any agents. Just gonna
That
be
worked
me.
out really well.
And yeah, that worked out.
Right.
So I
So you're still at REMAX.
Okay, but why didn't you just go to a brokerage there? Like, why didn't you just join a broker there?
because you can't be part of
Right.
there
Two
wasn't
companies.
there wasn't a broker that was there and in Baton Rouge.
So you had to become a broker in order to work
if I
in
wanted
both
to
places.
work both areas.
Okay.
Because their MLS is completely different
Right.
than ours. And I had to be part of their board. And
And there were no brokers that crossed over because it really is
There
far
weren't.
enough away that
there weren't.
most
there weren't.
people would not work both
And
markets.
Lisa was kind and did say she would join that,
Yeah.
that. But
MLS.
my husband was like, no, just like go get your broker's license.
Just do it.
And then you can keep all your commissions
Well, right.
and you don't have to pay fees and all this other stuff. So
Mhm.
Okay, but was the process to get your broker's license difficult?
no, it was essentially taking the test over again, the salesperson test.
Yeah.
And then at the end, you have like these word problems, I guess you could say.
Oh, okay.
Of like, what would you do in this situation? And what would you do in that situation? So
Oh.
that was about an hour, but you're really just taking the real estate license exam all over again,
Right. Plus the broker section.
plus the broker section, which is short.
Okay.
I would say the hardest part was really like figuring out like what all do I have to do with LAREC and
right.
Mhm.
You're like,
GBRER.
what kind of insurance
and
do I need? And
what-
how do
yes. And like ICA agreements, you know,
Mm.
Oh,
like
okay. I don't even know what an ICA agreement is.
Mhm.
I didn't give you one.
Oh,
so.
okay. Thanks.
That's why you don't know.
It's basically
I mean, I just don't know the term.
yeah, so it's basically an independent contractor agreement
Mhm.
stating that like you're not going to steal my branding, you're not going to steal my
Yes,
name.
I've had to
and, like,
sign
all
a
that.
contract when I was at REMAX.
Yes.
Got it.
So I've been working on my ICA agreement for about 5 years now.
I see. I see.
It's just
Okay.
not a fun project, so it keeps
No,
getting pushed to the
I'm
back
not
burner.
good. I really need to like just hand it off to an attorney because I've
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of learned some hard lessons with not having one.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Good
You know,
to know.
But it's like that's part of owning a business.
Owning your
So what
business.
year was Sotherly born?
2017.
Okay.
I love that.
So-
That's a long time.
Okay.
Almost 7 years? 6
I
years?
mean, 6 years.
Thousands of real estate agents have purchased Email Templates 101, and we wanted to share some reviews.
Nikki said, love these templates. I've been an agent for a little over a year and have done quite a bit of business, but this was my first time using the email templates from start to finish through a listing transaction. It made it so much easier, and I feel so much more organized with these systems in place.
That's what they're there for.
Absolutely.
Shannon said, I just sent my first seller just listed email, and they loved it. That one is my favorite.
It's so good. So good. Mandy said, these email templates were a great investment. They would have taken me years to put together on my own.
They did take years.
They literally took years.
That's how long it took us. So with email templates, you get 12 buyer templates, 17 seller templates with attachments to guide you through each part of the process. And each template can be customized to fit you.
Check out episode number 31 for more information or head over to emailtemplates101.com.
Did you know when you started Sotherly, even though you just wanted to be you,
Mhm.
did you know it would be a design, staging, real estate firm from the beginning?
I did because I was like, this is great. I can start charging now because a lot of my past clients, the way that I would sell homes was unique in the fact that I would say, okay, like you could totally buy this house, take down this wall, do this, do that. And I would give them a list
Right.
and
for
say,
free.
these are the things you can do. Here's some ideas on tile. Here's some floors. Here's this, that, and the other. And I was doing all that for free as
Yeah.
a buyer's agent.
Right. It was a service of your real estate business.
Yes. And so I also sold a lot more houses that way because a lot of people don't have vision.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so I was able to have that vision and give that to my buyers. But also the staging started, my brother called me and asked me to sell his house.
Okay.
And when I walked in there, it looked like
You were like,
total bachelor pad. Like every piece of furniture had been handed down to him from some family member.
Oh my.
And everything was brown. The walls were lime green
Oh, no.
and yellow and like
Oh no.
neon yellow. And I was like, I
Mm-mm.
can't sell this.
Mm-mm.
Like we're going to have to do some painting,
Yeah.
some decluttering, some furniture. He was like, this is all the furniture I have.
You're like,
So I went to
oh.
Court Furniture. I rented furniture.
Okay.
I bought some rugs and I staged his house and it sold for list price in like 5 days.
Did he like it?
Yes, he wanted to live there after I
Right,
finished staging it.
right,
He was-
yeah.
and that's the response that I get from so many sellers is, now that you've done all this, we wish we could stay. Like we almost don't even want to sell our house
Mhm.
because we wish we had done all this for years and we just
Right.
didn't have the
Right.
push.
They didn't know.
right. They didn't know what to do, how to do
Right.
it.
They're like, this
or-
house can't be fixed.
You can fix most houses in 2 to 3 months.
Okay. So with the market the way it is now and a
Mhm.
lot of sellers feeling like they're stuck, do you feel like you're in this very good position though with your company to be like, hey,
I do.
Like-
I feel extremely fortunate that I
Right.
started this.
yeah, because you're like, don't worry, you can't move. We have the service you need. Just redesign your house or add on to your
yes.
house or remodel something.
I'm in the process right now of redoing our website and having like a full menu of like pre-list and if you're listing with us, what that comes with and
Yeah.
staging and all that kind of stuff. Because yeah, we can we have 2 giant storage units full of furniture, you know,
Right.
and books and all kinds of things to stage with. And
Yeah.
you know, I've had so much experience with paint colors. I
Mhm.
absolutely love paint. I have a paint guide that I did, and I actually just started giving it away for free. It's my freebie.
Oh, I love that.
So-
we'll link the paint guide in
Yeah.
the show notes.
Yeah. The
Okay.
paint guide has a lot of like different paint colors that you can put together that for interior, for exterior, all of that.
I love that. Because people need help with their paint.
They
Yeah.
do. I mean, I went into a house recently to do design and they had painted the baseboards one color white and the walls another color white. And like the baseboards are like peach.
Oh.
And I was like,
no.
guys, the baseboards are peach. Like, I didn't even want to say it. I was
They
like,
were
who
like,
painted the house? Like, what did y'all
right.
do?
We don't want to hurt
You know, like,
feelings.
I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but, you know,
They have to know.
it was
They have to know.
not good. But
Okay.
they're like, we never have picked paint.
Oh God, it shows.
Yeah.
Right.
shows.
Nobody knows. All right. So the design services were always there. What are the design services? Actually, tell us the structure of the office. Who's working there now? Because we really haven't touched on the fact that it's not just you as the designer.
Right.
So tell us about Sotherly and how it's structured today.
Okay. So we have several agents, several real estate agents.
Right.
And then we have a lot of our real estate agents are interested in staging and design. So they like to come help me on projects. So we have Megan, who will come help on projects. I have Jennifer, who is a retiree but loves interior design, and she's helping on projects. And so I have like a handyman now who comes to all the projects.
love it.
And can hang curtains and do all the like handy things that we
Mhm.
need done. Kate Lambert helps us a lot with our new builds. She's like an expert in new build construction.
And she has her real estate license, right?
She has her
But
real
she
estate
only
license.
does design work at this point.
She only does design work. She figured she works with so many builders that she was like, if a builder wants me to list, then at least I have my license.
Right.
And Brandi can help me list the property. Like we could co-list together.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that makes sense. So
Yeah.
you have designers, you
Mhm.
have agents, and then you have some that sort of cross over.
Mhm.
So it's a
Mhm.
nice mix, but they all work together anyway. And I
Yes.
think having that, like, I've taken a listing before where I'm like, look, this old brick house needs a new front door and shutter colors. Can you like pop over and
Yeah.
tell my client? And so
Yeah.
being able to tell my seller, I'm like, look, the design lead from our office is going to come pick
Yeah.
you a color, put it on the shutters. And
Yeah.
don't you know, you picked a lovely color and it looked great. Great door, great shutters. I thought it looked a million times better. It was a inheritance. So there was
Yeah.
4 siblings that were like fighting over how to get the house ready.
Yeah.
And when they painted them, they were like, oh no, I think y'all, for the record, it was orange before, right?
It was orange.
Orange brick, orange shutters, orange door.
The whole
it was
interior
orange.
was orange.
Everything was hideous.
It was bad.
Terrible.
The shutter color you picked was a very neutral, like
Yes.
off-whitish color. I
Yes.
mean, I don't know what I would call it. Anyway, and the nice like green blue door. It was
Yes.
beautiful. They were like, so-and-so, one of the siblings thinks that the shutters are too light. And I'm just like, okay, well, I'll come take a spin by in 2 days. And don't you know, in 2 days, they had all looked at it long enough that they were like, yeah, I mean, because at first it was like, this isn't mom's house
This is
anymore.
different.
Right?
It's
It's
different.
very hard when people have emotional attachments to
To
their
their
house
home.
and the colors, and their mom loved orange.
Yeah.
And so,
Well,
you know.
in 2 days, they were like, you're right. This looks good. But I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm so
Okay.
glad.
and it did sell quick.
It totally sold quick. They
Yeah.
made all the right changes. So,
And I think it's easier sometimes with sellers when you have me come in and say, this is what needs to be done, because you're not having to hurt their feelings.
Yeah.
And I never have to talk to them again.
you're just a third-party expert. You just swoop in and be like,
and swing
"Here
back
you-"
out.
Right.
It really is a system that works.
Yeah.
Okay, so what if there are agents right now, especially in this market, that are maybe struggling a little bit, or maybe they're just design, interested or have that talent or skill? Like, how would you recommend someone add design services into their business?
Well, I think the best way to start is to charge hourly. So decide what you want to get paid hourly and tell your clients, like, look, I'm charging $50 an hour for design services. Here's some of the homes that I've helped with. I think having pictures of things that you've done in the past is really helpful
Yeah.
to clients. People are visual. They need to see what you've worked on and if y'all have the same kind of taste.
Yeah.
But I think it's totally doable to charge hourly, and they can Venmo you, or you can
Right.
easily get a QuickBooks account. And, when I do charge hourly, I list out, what I did. That way they can see.
Right.
People can tend to forget what you have done.
Mhm.
So I think it's great to list out, I spent 10 hours and this is what I did in those 10
Right.
hours.
Right.
And then it's an extra source of income for a lot of agents are interested in design. Because
Yeah.
I still love going show
Well,
houses.
It's the
Yeah,
agents that when they got
just
into
to
real
see.
estate said, I just love looking at houses, and they really meant it.
Yeah.
Like, they're typically a
And-
little more design focused.
And like your house, you're great at design.
Oh, thank
like
you.
your
That's
house is
very
beautiful.
kind.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're able to help people,
Right.
pick
Well,
a subway tile or pick, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, every agent that has that kind of design feel
mhm.
has at some point given a seller or a buyer advice that they took and worked out. I mean, it's going to be pretty easy to go snap a photo or get
Yeah.
a before and after of a listing where you were like, well, you need to paint this kitchen ballet white,
Yeah.
and then it looked better.
And the other thing that I find is that an interior designer is going to charge $250 an hour to give
Mhm.
you advice.
Right.
So if you have a realtor in your corner that is good at these things
Mhm.
and can charge $50, $75, even $100 an hour, I mean, that's
And is available.
and a lot of interior
Right.
designers that are doing really well, they don't have time to come help you pick paint colors or help you pick out tile or help you.
They don't want to
quickly-
a la carte things.
No, they want jobs that
Yeah.
are $100,000 or more.
Yeah.
As far as
So there is
budget.
really a little niche in the
Yeah.
market there.
I think there's a great niche.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. So what design services are you in the office offering now? Like, do you have kind of an a la carte menu, or how does that go?
So our design services right now are you have to have a budget of at least $15,000 to hire design
Okay.
on that side. So if you're redoing your living room and you want to spend at least $15,000, then
On
yes.
new furnishings.
Yes.
And, okay.
Yes. So not $15,000 for your designer, but $15,000
To do
For the project.
to do whatever project you're doing.
Okay.
I do take on smaller projects on the side if it is one of my past clients.
Yeah.
So if my past client calls me and says, I need paint colors, I'll
Right.
absolutely do that.
Or like when an agent in your office is like, can you help me pick out a paint
Yes.
color for my dining room table?
Yes, I will absolutely do that.
Thanks.
So, yes,
So helpful.
I don't mind doing small projects for my sphere of people
Right.
that have helped me get to where I am. And then a lot of agents like you and Alissa and other agents have sent me a ton of remodel business.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, I mean, our design business is majority new builds, remodels. We're doing a lot of Airbnbs right now.
So you do like the furnishing.
We do
Like a renovation
we've
and a
been
furnish.
remodeling and furnishing. So those hard to sell houses that kind of back up to the interstate, or have something funky about them that are just hard to sell. A lot of investors are buying those as Airbnbs right now. And then we're kind of going in, renovating, doing light renovations. Not, our renovation budget is usually under $100K for a Airbnb. And then it costs usually about $30,000 to furnish it.
And is it your contractor?
I do have a contractor that I like to use. If my client chooses to not go with his quote, then they can use another contractor. But I'm kind of getting to the point where I don't know if I'm going to continue to do that because like this last project was
all these
horrible.
People? Yeah, so many people to communicate with.
Well, that and my contractor knows me. He understands what I like.
Yeah.
He knows when to ask questions and when to just like get it done. And I know that his work is quality.
Right.
This last Airbnb we did, they decided to go with a really cheap contractor, and when they put in one of the vanities in the bathroom, he was trying to shove it and busted a very small leak in the wall. So weeks later, I'm like, I see something like on the baseboard. I think there's water here. And they had to rip it out. We had to tear out the master bathroom. We had to tear out the laundry room, like the walls do mold.
All to go with the cheaper option.
Because they went with a cheap contractor that nobody knew. It's like, it's one thing if my client knows them and they're like,
they're reliable.
My friends have used them. They have great work. But like when you just pick a contractor out of thin air, you don't know what you're getting.
No, you don't know what you're getting.
Wow.
It's better to have them vetted. Okay, can we take a little turn here?
Sure.
You're like, I don't know where you're going with this because it wasn't on your list.
Oh, man.
It wasn't on your prep list. Don't sweat. I want to talk about your Instagram.
Okay.
How did you grow it? Because I think it was a little unique and people don't always think about this. But like, tell people what you post on the office Instagram, how you grew it, and kind of like the origin of that.
Okay. So I originally started that Instagram when I was pregnant with my son, right when I had switched to REMAX Professional. I love design, and I was like, I just want like a page where everything I love is there.
You were sort of Pinterest boarding.
It was like a Pinterest board. It was not really meant for anybody to actually like go like and see and whatever. It was just for me.
Right.
And it was kind of like my morning ritual. Like I would sit there with my coffee and like find things I like and repost them to my Instagram, because it was also like, I tend to be like squirrel, when it comes to design, because I love everything beautiful.
Yeah.
I love contemporary. But I'm also like very much at my roots. I love old houses.
Yeah.
So, I just wanted everything in one place, and I just kept posting every single day for 5 years straight. And then Cameron took over and was posting when I got super busy. I was like, I just can't post every day anymore. And I had like this theme going. Like on Mondays I did one thing. On Tuesdays I did Transformation Tuesday
for you.
So we sat down and she followed that trend for me. So that helped it grow a lot. And she made a post that ended up on like the Instagram homepage. And so that brought a ton of followers. And then I made a post.
And that post was still a repost of someone else.
It was a repost of someone's
and
beautiful
all of these
home.
Were always, you were giving credit to the original poster.
It always was like, hey, this house is by
this person.
Right. But I think it showcased my style so that when I did start to attract clients from it, they liked the style that I liked.
Right.
So it was easier to get clients from this.
I guess my point for this and where I'm trying to drive you when you got there is that if you're brand new at this and you've never designed anything for anyone, but if you have a body of work that shows what you like, then it's easy for someone to be like, oh, that's the style I like too.
Right.
Did you get clients off of Instagram?
I still, to this day, get clients off of Instagram.
That you don't know in any way, other than they found you on Instagram.
They message me. I'm doing a house right now in Copper Mill. I'm furnishing the whole house, and it was based off of her seeing my Instagram.
Were you using, how did they know where you were? Like, were you using a local hashtag or?
I always use hashtags, but I saved them in my notes. So I had 30 hashtags, or I had like 25.
Okay.
And then I would add 5 that had to do with that post.
Oh, yeah.
That was the only thing that I did.
Yeah.
I never ran ads.
Right.
I don't even know how to run an Instagram ad.
Yeah. I mean, what is that account? Like 14, 15,000, 16,000 followers? That's a lot.
And the one that the reel that got us the most new followers was I had accidentally let a client's dog in the house one day.
Okay.
And it was an outside dog and she wasn't there. And I had let myself in to take measurements. And I was like, here's a milk bone. And the dog was like, no.
No, thank you, ma'am.
And then I went and got like some cheese crackers. And the dog was like, yeah, I'll go outside for that. So I threw him outside and I did a 5-second reel and it got 180,000 views. And I think we got like 10,000 new followers.
Oh my God.
From the dog video.
The dog video. But the point of it is I had been posting for 5 years every day. I had been consistent.
Right. So when they went
the
to see
point.
the dog video, there was also
like,
all the beautiful houses.
This is a lot of beautiful houses that I like. And so I really just think when it comes to real estate, when it comes to design, that you have to be authentic. Like, don't copy other people. Don't copy other realtors. Don't copy other designers. Post what you like.
Yeah.
If you love cheese boards, post about cheese boards.
Right.
If you love, like whatever it is you love, that is who you have to be in order to attract your ideal clientele. Because if you try to be like somebody else, you're going to attract clientele that are not like you. And you're going to be miserable.
Right.
In whatever field you're in.
Right.
Right. I love that. Where do you see yourself going in the future? You, your business, whatever you'd like to share with us.
So I see opening 2 offices side by side. I see a white building and a dark building.
Oh, okay.
Like a moody building.
Are the evil people the realtors?
Yeah.
No, the dark building
Oh,
is the design.
Okay.
The white building is the real estate side.
Love it.
And we can all I think that this business, what I have created, it's so, it goes so well together. Because I have been on a design appointment. And when I mentioned that I'm a real estate broker, they're like, we're going to have you sell our house.
Right.
And so, it goes vice versa. Like a lot of my past clients are my design clients.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
So-
and that's a really nice way to
And
keep.
you can give back and forth to each other.
Right.
Here, Katy, here's one in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
And then you're keeping up with each other without them having to sell their house.
Well, right.
Right.
If
Because
people-
I'm really I don't want to do it. Like I would rather hand something off to Katy
you'd
or
rather
hand something
refer
off to somebody.
You'd rather do the design work at this point.
Yes.
Okay. But I do like the point that if people are going to start staying in their houses 7, 10, 15 years, you don't want to work with them once every 10 years.
Right.
If you're giving them design services, that's going to come up multiple times in the course of that 10 years.
It really has helped my real estate business as far as getting in the beginning, I would have past clients that 2 years in, they were like, I couldn't remember your name to call you.
Right.
And I wasn't always the best at
follow up that way.
I haven't
Long-term
always, I have
follow-up.
not always been the best at long-term follow-up.
I know you're busy and you have lots of jobs. Do you advertise to your sphere? Do you need to at this point? You can't because you wouldn't be able
I have
to
more business than I can possibly
handle
right now. So I'm trying to figure out how to do all the business.
I mean, that's
that
a great
have coming
problem
in.
to have.
It's a great problem to have, especially in this economy.
Yeah.
I am forever grateful for the path that I have been led down to end up here.
Yeah.
And what I want to do is be able to sit down, and I'm working on this now with the website revival, is do some actual guides on how to stage your home. And so that way, I know that I'm too busy to help everybody.
How can we help more people?
How can I help more people when it comes to, that's why I did the paint guide.
Yeah.
I had so many realtors calling me like, what color should I paint this house? And I didn't have time to sit down and say, these are the colors you should paint that house.
Right.
But at least I could do a guide and hand that out to people, So I think guides on, even I have past clients that call me and they're like, how do I stage my console table in my foyer?
Right.
I want to do something like that.
Yeah.
I'd love to have that as a guide. I would love people to be able to go to our website and just click, click, click.
Oh,
and,
yeah. There you go.
Get paint colors and how do you style your living room and your console and your outdoor area. And,
yeah, that's nice.
That
would be so helpful.
Yes, because people need help.
Right, people
But I'm
need
only one
help.
person,
But you're
so-
only one. You can only help so many.
Yeah. And my style is, everybody's style is different.
Right.
You're going to give people different advice on how to style a console than I am. You know? So it's just.
Okay. And do we want to share before we wrap up the reason why I came to your office was because you Instagram messaged me and said, hey, I see that you're really interested in staging, because that's what I was posting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you might be a good fit for the office. And I'm like, well, maybe. And, then we became friends, and then we talked for a while, and then I came to the office after a while. I just think that it proves that having a niche and then seeking out the other people that will work within that niche can be very successful.
Well, you were very selective in who you wanted.
You are one of 2 people that I've ever contacted.
Very nice.
And that is the hard thing about having a brokerage is I've had to turn a lot of people away because I think that, we don't align in what they want and what I want.
But I find that so refreshing.
Right.
Because we're so used to, quantity of agents.
Yeah.
Teams. I'm all about the slow life. I'm not all about that fast life.
Well, right. And I think it makes sense, though, because you can then confidently send your agents out and know they're not going to list a house that is hideous and, not staged and doesn't reflect the business, because you're putting the same sign in the yard either way.
Right. And I've actually had to have come to Jesus moments with people and say, this isn't a good fit,
Right.
It's not easy to do that.
Yeah.
I am not good at hurting other people's feelings.
No, and you don't want to.
And I don't want to. But at the end of the day, I think that everybody has a place and everybody has a community.
Yeah.
And so they just need to find their community.
Right. But I like that you're more selective now about who you take into the office, and it's better to have a small group, but as long as it all aligns, then it's easy for you to kind of keep it consistent.
And it's easier for everybody to get along,
Yeah.
It's like when we meet up and do things, it's not awkward because you have
one that's too different that just never fit in.
Right.
And any one of us would be happy to go and help you stage something, and we would be entertained or go buy. Oh, you need us to go buy books for the bookshelf?
Yeah.
No problem.
Right.
We'll be right on that. So it is kind of nice for that too.
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions, Alissa?
Mm-mm.
Have you learned so much today?
Yeah, if I've been quiet, it's because I am not a designer and I'm just fascinated listening to the 2 of you talk. I actually even thought, I was like, I feel like Katy could just interview Brandi, because I'm not going to have anything to
We're happy that you were here.
I would go interview and she'd be like, listen, you're just not a good fit.
At her office? She'd be like,
no, you stage your property.
You do stage. She pays someone to.
Yeah.
But she believes in it.
Yeah.
That's the
believe in
difference.
it. I
And
do
you
believe
also
in it.
believe in the condition of the property.
Yeah.
Yes.
I get it. Like sometimes you have investment properties that you're listing. And I'm not saying that every
They're not
property
all
we
perfect.
list have to be perfect.
Right.
But you do understand that
it needs to be done.
it needs to be in good condition.
You cannot just put a
There's
sign
got to
in the
be some
yard.
curb appeal.
Yeah.
There's got to be some zhuzhing.
Oh, right.
Space.
Okay. Did you bring a toast for us today?
I did. I wanted to toast Jennifer Henson, who started with us recently over the past couple months.
Okay. I haven't even met Jennifer.
I know.
I gotta see this lady.
I know.
Okay. Well, tell us about Jennifer.
So she worked at Blue Cross for, I think, 20-something years.
Wow.
And retired from there.
I
And,
love it.
just was like, I don't want to sit at home.
Mm-hmm.
And she's done great with her home and picking new colors on her own and doing things. And she's like, I just want to help, like whatever capacity that is, whether it's ordering furniture or steaming curtains or whatever.
She just wants to be in the environment.
She wants to be in the environment.
Love it.
And
How
I love
fun.
that. And so, yeah.
How did she approach you, or how did this come to be?
Well, we've just been talking and she had started working for another company and she was like, I just don't think this is for me. Like, I just don't know what to do with my life, you know?
But how did you know? Was she like a personal friend?
She's actually my aunt.
Oh, I love it. Aunt Jennifer.
I do love
So she's my
it.
aunt.
How fun.
Oh, this is good. Okay, well, cheers to Jennifer. I can't wait to meet her now.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
And everybody, like, Megan met her and she was like, okay, yes, she's definitely your aunt. Like, y'all
Definitely your aunt. Oh my gosh, that's funny.
How
Okay.
great.
Any parting words for the audience? No. You
I
feel
think this was so good.
It was
just
so
be,
good.
Just be yourself.
It's great advice.
And I just
be
feel like
yourself.
you are just taking the opportunities that come to you.
Yes.
Like-
I'm very much.
Yeah, you want to buy a
Here.
Planet Beach? Sure. You want to be a manager? Sure. You want to be a buyer's leader? Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, I know that one day we'll have an office and those things. I'm just waiting for the right
Well,
opportunity.
I like that
to
you're
come up.
always in a kind of a growth mode.
Yeah.
I am very much in a growth mode. I do think that eventually the company will be
Big.
an empire.
I love that.
see
I
an
mean,
empire.
you've only been in real estate 10 years. You've only had this office for 6.
Yeah.
I know.
So you're just a baby.
Right. You are
It's a
just
little baby office.
Just a 42-year-old baby.
You're gonna get.
Yeah.
You're gonna. Amazing things are gonna happen. Well, thank you for being here, especially.
Thank y'all for having
in
me.
studio.
I was very excited.
We like to have
is
you
great.
here. Okay, so everyone go check out Brandi. You can look in the show notes for her paint guide.
Yes.
And
Excited
any
to hear
other ways
feedback.
they should find you? Sotherly, the Instagram is?
Sotherly_LA.
Okay, so y'all go check out all of the beautiful houses.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you.
Bye, guys.
Hey, bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Hustle Humbly podcast.
If you enjoyed this episode, please go to ratethispodcast.com/hustlehumbly and leave us a review or like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for notifications.
If you have an episode topic or someone you'd like to toast on the show, please email us at team@hustlehumblypodcast.com.
Find us on social media at Hustle Humbly Podcast. Don't forget to find all the free resources at hustlehumblypodcast.com/resources.
See you next week.